Welcome back to Between the Chalk Lines podcast. We have our resident minor league scout, I guess you could say, Jared Thames, baseball coach. You're a baseball coach. We can say that at
There
least.
you go. That's fine.
Yeah. So we're both Angels fans, obviously. We both watched the draft. Draft day is a huge day for these guys and the team, obviously, future of the team. 20 pitchers and all 20 signed. You were doing some um, lineups of who you thought were the best picks and best signers. Can you give us a quick rundown?
I can, yes. I know a lot of people didn't like the Tyler Bremner pick or signing or anything like that. Um, but I really like Tyler Bremner. From day one, he was one of the top guys on my big board. Absolutely loved Tyler Bremner. I thought it was a very good pick for the Angels. Someone who is probably, in my opinion, the most for sure starting pitcher in this draft. Like you had questions about other guys, Arnold, even Kate Anderson. I mean, I thought Anderson and Brimner were close, but if you could get Brimner for about $1 million less and you do what you did the rest of the draft, then yeah, I thought that was a good pick. Thought they could have gone different directions in round two and round three C with Shore and Snead, but wasn't going to be upset about it. It wasn't going to kill my mood about this draft just because I like the Brimner pick. I like the Slowinski pick at three. I think that's a lot of high upside lefty there. CJ Gray at five, I thought's a big high upside arm there as well. And then you go to the 12th and the 13th with Talon Haley and Xavier Mitchell, and I thought those were two high upside high school picks there as well. Obviously, they gave them $250,000 over slot, so I think they think that as well. But one of the couple of guys that you're not hearing too much about, Mikey Casino and Cole Raymond, two of my favorite arms in this draft. I'm very intrigued into what they'll bring to the table, if it's just a reliever or if they have a chance to start in the long run. And the same thing goes with Luke LaCourse, who is the Angels' sixth rounder. I thought that was a very interesting pick, someone who has a chance to maybe start, maybe be a fifth or fourth starter at the major league level at some point. So yeah, they went pitching heavy for sure, but I wasn't upset about it by any means. I think that they got a lot of very high upside pitchers. And then you look at in recent years, they've gone a lot more on the position player side, especially higher up. So to go straight pitcher,
Definitely.
to go with a lot more pitching, should I say? I thought it was an interesting way to go about it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. They should be joining affiliates. Some maybe none of the names that I gave you, but some of the guys drafted should be joining affiliates here this upcoming week. I know the ACL season's over, so we should start seeing some of those ACL guys get bumped up here pretty soon. So speaking of the ACL, actually, I'm gonna turn on the game here and watch it a little bit as we speak.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the more you see, the more you know, and the more we
Yep.
all know as listeners and watchers on YouTube, which, by the way, please like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, let me do this. But, Nolan Channel, Bubblehead is in there. It's, you can barely see it, but Instagram, go like the photo, like and subscribe here on YouTube, and get yourself a chance. So there's already several people that want this bobblehead. I mean, Shenro is one of those guys that was drafted early and came up really fast, Jared. So is that something we're looking at, like a Remmer going into the bullpen? Um, Possibly because we need a number five starter somewhere. We can't keep having bullpen days.
This year, probably not. I don't think Brimmer's going to be the number five guy this year, or Chase Shores or Nate Snead or anybody like that. Um, as far as Brimner goes, I've had the conversation with myself and a couple other people about where I'm gonna slot Tyler Brimner when it comes to opening day next year. Like, is he in the bullpen? Do you think that he has? Do we think he has a chance to start? I don't know. I think that if they take the same course that they've taken in past years, I think that he's going to get a spring training invite, and I think that he's going to have an opportunity to win a job coming out of spring training, whether it's the Ryan Johnson spot where he's in the bullpen, or whether it's the fifth starter against Caden Dana or George Clausen or somebody like that. The Angels have some fun arms. I just got done recording with Nate Green on Talking Halos about this. I do want to know what the Angels have the rest of this year. Whether it's Caden Dana, for sure. Whether George Clausen, Samuel Aldegary, who has a chance to be a starter. Come next year, working with the offseason and how many pitchers do the Angels actually need to go get. So as far as Tyler Brimner goes, I think that I think that he's got a shot to make the opening day roster along with Chase Shore, those two guys, and Nate Snead obviously. But I think those three guys have a legitimate chance to make the opening day roster next year. I really do. And I think the Angels get a bad stigma for pushing their players up too quickly. I think that they've done a reasonably good job about it. To be honest, I know that Sean Wells, come up and maybe struggled a little bit at first, but I think that he's fitting right in. Is he a first baseman like statistically? No, I
No.
wouldn't think he's a first baseman by any means, but I think that he's done a very good job, especially for where he's been in the maturity level and everything like that. So yeah, I'm not upset about it.
Exactly. And you got to remember, he's still got plenty of years under team control and arbitration if they go that way um, to develop. He's pretty young. I think he's what, 22, 23.
Yep, something like that. Maybe 24 by now.
24 by now. But he's getting on base, taking walks. And to me, that's all that really matters. I just want guys on base, move over, score. That the basics.
Have you been watching Moneyball of late? Yeah, it doesn't matter how he gets on base, as long as he gets
Exactly. It
on
doesn't
base.
matter how he gets on base, as long as he's on base.
Exactly.
Exactly. Unless it's getting a hit on the hand like Moncada did yesterday, that did not look very fun. Getting hit on the knuckles, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that. Hand knuckles. Hopefully, it sounds like
Yeah.
the X-ray came back negative, which is good for the trade deadline.
Yes, of course. And that's what I wanted to go to next. Where do you see the Angels on trade deadline in like 48, 72 hours?
When are you planning on putting this podcast out?
Tonight.
Okay,
Not
good.
tonight.
Because
Yeah.
this podcast might be outdated by the time it comes out. I mean, they could make a trade here while we're talking about this right now. But yeah, I expect them to sell. I don't know who they sell, but I would expect them to make at least two trades. Whether that's and for me, I think it for sure Kenley's going to get traded unless something crazy weird happens with Kenley Jansen and he's like, no, I need to stay in Anaheim, and it's like, oh, okay, like I don't know. And I think that one of the infielders, whether it's Yoel Moncada or Luis Renifo, get traded. Those are the two for sure trades that I think happen. Other ones, I wouldn't shock me. Taylor Ward for sure wouldn't shock me. Um, Tyler Anderson, I just don't think he's got very much value, but I could definitely see him getting traded somewhere that needs a veteran starting pitcher. I don't know what he brings to the
Lefty
table.
too.
A lefty, yeah, lefty starter who has a playoff experience. And then outside of those guys, I think they're going to field calls on a Reed Detmers. I think they're going to field calls on a Joe Adell. Uh,
Really?
I think they field. I mean, I think they field calls. I don't think they. I
Yeah.
think they pick up the phone and say, "Yeah, what's the offer?" But I don't think that they make any trades when it comes to Joe Adell or Reed Detmers. I think it would have to blow them away. I really do. I think it would have to be. I mean, for Reed Detmers, I think it's got to be. I mean, where are you trading? Let's just hypothetically say you trade him to Boston. I don't think that that would happen, but I think you would have to ask for one of their big time prospects, whether it's Marcelo Meyer or Roman Anthony or somebody like that for Reed Detmers. Like I think that's the type of trade that would have to happen to for Reed Detmers to get traded. Um,
Well,
but
I
I think they
do
field calls on him.
know
I do think.
Chapman got hurt. I don't know the extent of the injury,
Mhm.
but they do need a closer. So, Jansen to Boston, possibility, or Detmers. He's never closed, but he has the bullpen experience from this year. So,
He definitely's got the cojones too. I mean, look at all the spots that he's been put in this season. I mean, a lot of high leverage spots for sure. Um, Detmers has been. So yeah, I do think he could close. I don't know if I would do it if I was Boston, but I do think he can close.
yeah, yeah, that trade would be interesting. Uh, and I would not be angry at getting Marcelo or Anthony. So,
I wouldn't be either.
um, so we're saying, Jansen, Renhefo. Ward. I'm hearing that Ward is fetching, or they're asking for a lot because he's still under control through 26 or 27, I
Mm.
believe.
Into next year.
Yeah. Okay. So year and a half. It's not just like 3 months rental. Like most of the guys that they have out there. Um, Ward, hypothetically, where could he fit in besides Philly? Because Philly does need an outfielder.
Philly does need some help. I think Philly makes some sense there. I know people have thrown around San Diego. Um,
Yeah, San
I
Diego.
I feel like Taylor Ward has always made sense for Seattle, even if they don't need an outfielder right now. I think they do need an outfielder, but I feel like he's always made sense in Seattle just because Jerry Dipoto's there and that's who drafted him. Um,
Fair.
along with others. I mean, the Yankees just lost the MVP, so that would make
That's
some
true.
type of sense. You
Yeah.
don't know what's going on with Aaron Judge right now. I don't think that that's going to happen, but you never know. I think that if they're going to go trade for if the Yankees are going to go trade for an outfielder, which I don't think they do, but if they do, I think it's going to be somebody that just replaces Aaron Judge for a hot second. But yeah, I think that those teams make the most sense. Those three teams that I mentioned, and I don't know. I mean, San Diego is they pushed San Diego. I tweeted out the other day about the Angels selling, and I got a lot of response from Mets fans. So for some reason, um, the Mets need an outfielder as well. So I guess Seattle, or I guess the New York Mets as well. So I don't know.
Okay. So, I mean, I can see the Yankees. You slot Ward into the left, move, I don't know who into center, Judge. I mean, no one's really going to be replacing Judge. Let's just admit it here. There's no other Judge besides Otani, obviously. But he
No.
can't play center field. He's not this tall as Judge. But I can see Ward and pinstripes. They definitely have a deep, minor league system. Uh, there's a guy named Spencer Jones who plays outfield for them. He is power, strikes out a lot. He actually broke a record, I think, last year for most strikeouts in minor leagues with over 200. Sounds like a guy that we would like. We don't like the bunt. We don't like the walk a lot, um, outside of Shanwell. But yeah, I mean, Spencer, we would definitely be asking for a top prospect out of Ward, or prospects, I should say.
Yeah, you definitely can't overvalue Taylor Ward by any means. I mean, he doesn't hit for average very well. He walks from time to time for sure. He's got some power. He plays decent outfield for sure. But I don't know what the offer might look like. I think the Angels are going to ask for. I don't want to say the moon and the stars for Taylor Ward, but I do think they ask for something up there for sure. And I don't know if any teams do it. I know that the Angels went out and tried to trade Taylor Ward, and they asked for a top 100 prospect last year, and it was, kind of top 100 plus more for Taylor Ward last year, and it kind of got shot down a couple times for sure. But I just don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if. I mean, would you be upset? I'll ask this question: if you got the return for Taylor Ward that you got for Carlos Estevez?
No, I would not
Okay.
agree.
And those guys weren't top 100 prospects at all, right? Like Aldegary and George Clausen, they're good. They have a chance to be good pitchers, major leaguers
Exactly.
for sure.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be top 100 prospects by any means. So I think that if you look at Seattle, I think that you ask for a top 100 prospect any way you go, depending on who you like, and we'll kind of see how that goes from there.
All right. As far as I know, this is just after the All Star game, where we had no representative. You pointed it out after Kikuchi pulled out. Um, Postseason, is there truly a chance if we don't sell, or are we gonna sell and it's just out of the picture? It's not gonna happen.
I've said this for a little while now, and I think the Angels pitching gets better. The rotation gets better if you sell. Like if you're replacing Tyler Anderson with a Caden Dana or George Clausen, like I think that those guys have the potential to be better. I don't know if they're going to be better, but I think they have the potential to be better than what Tyler Anderson's going out there and doing every fifth day. I think Kyle Hendricks has been just fine. I think that Kikuchi's been fine. I think that Jose Soriano's been fine. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Kahanowitz. I know he's starting tomorrow. But I've said this for a while. I think if the Angels sell, they get a little bit better. I think Christian Moore playing every day at second base. I think it wouldn't surprise me if they traded both Yohan Moncada and Luis Renifo, if we saw Denzer Guzman get the call up, and he's a very good defensive infielder that can play third base. He has a 130 WRC plus this year in Rocket City. So I think that the Angels get better if they sell, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in everywhere, but I think that they can restock up the farm system a little bit, and I think that excuse me, and I think that they can. Um, I think that the guys that could replace the guys they traded are could definitely be better. I don't know if they are better, but I think they could be better. I think the Angels having a young team, and I don't want to make this sound weird. I think they're dumb enough. I think that young kids are dumb enough to not understand the position that they're in, that they could just go out there and start winning games out of nowhere. As weird as it sounds, like it happens. It happens quite often, where the young kids play and they just don't understand what the situation is that they're in, and they just keep winning and winning and winning games. And um, we've seen the Angels rally or knock off 8 wins in a row or whatever it was. Like the Angels could win 25 of 30 down the stretch, and all of a sudden it's the Detroit Tigers of a couple years ago where they're in the playoffs and they're going to the ALCS or something like that, or they're winning the wild card game because they're hot right now. That's all that matters. You just have to be the hot team going into the playoffs. Now the chances of that happening are slim to none, but I don't count them out. It's a young dumb team, and I don't mean dumb by baseball standards. I just mean that I think young players don't understand the situations that they're in sometimes, and this is kind of one of those situations where they could sneak up on some teams.
All right. So they could knock off some of the wild card teams ahead of them, possibly.
Yeah.
Um, because I think like Boston, obviously, uh, Kansas City, those are some teams in the hunt that really want a spot, and we just knocked off Seattle. They're only half a game up. So they just lost their wild card spot. And yeah, we could definitely be shaking the tree, but I don't think we're making that wild card, to be honest. But to your point, Denzer, I've seen him in person play. You've seen him play. And we've talked about him on this podcast. We like him defensively and as a hitter. You know, he's no Renifo, but uh, we definitely think he can fill that spot defensively
Yeah,
at third.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's got to be better than Kevin Newman, right? Like
Yes,
Kevin Newman's running
better
out
than
there. He's a
Kevin Newman.
bad defender with a 25 WRC plus this year.
Ah, man, it's just I remember that hit the other night, and he got caught between third and home. It's just anybody but Newman. Please give us someone else. Um, well, besides that, I mean, Klassen, he's in what, single A right now?
Clausen's Rocket City,
Rocket
double A.
City? He's
Yeah.
already got up there, double A? Okay. Well, that changes things for me because I thought he was in single A, high A. But if it's in double A, I would give him a shot because that's what we did last year with Dana. Gave him a shot. It didn't quite work out, but you know, you gotta take a risk. Risk it for the biscuit, and I think that's you just gotta did that way.
Yeah, you got to give the young guys a chance at some point for sure.
All right, so I'm sold on Clauston now, especially now he's a double A. How is he doing? Double
Before he got hit by the comebacker, he had some really good starts in a row. A couple starts where it was like, wow, this is the best that I've seen out of George Clausen in a Rocket City or in an Angels uniform. He can kick it up to 100 miles an hour, 101 miles an hour. Will normally sit 96 to 90, 98 and touch 99 with some run. He's got the cutter. He's got the power curveball. It looks like a slider, but it's a power curveball. It reminds me a lot of Garrett Richards. And Garrett Richards was a very, very sought after prospect and a very good pitcher, very good major league pitcher. He just, unfortunately got hit by the injury bug here and there and had a chance. A lot of people forget this, but Garrett Richards had a chance to win the Cy Young before he hurt his knee in Boston that one year. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball for that season, and he just unfortunately he got hurt. But I mean, I'm not upset if you can call up Garrett Richards when he was 26 or 25, 26 years old. That was a very good pitcher. He was a very good pitcher.
Yeah. Um, I think we're gonna wrap it up there for everything else as far as Hall of Fame. Does that happen today? You happy with the picks? Wagner, Ichiro, and a few others.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner. Billy Wagner deserved it for a while. I thought he
Yeah,
was one of the best relievers in it. He was one of the best relievers in an incredibly tough era. CC Sabathia, I mean, one of the most iconic pitchers in baseball for his era, and Ichiro, arguably the best pure hitter of all time. Absolutely, pretty awesome to see it, especially Ichiro. I mean, I grew up watching Ichiro play against the Angels on a like a weekly basis because he was on the Mariners. So yeah, it's cool to see him. Definitely cool to see Ichiro get in. That was one of my favorite players growing up too. That wasn't an Angel.
I agree.
Hmm.
I always remember my dad saying, "You see Ichiro out there, he never stops moving. He's always stretching, moving around. You know those twitch movements. That's why he never gets hurt. He's always healthy, or he was when he was playing at least. Um, but yeah, it's one of the best pure hitters, like you said. Left, right, center, you name it. And people would always say he could have hit home runs if he wanted. He just didn't want to. But WBP, teammates and opposing watched him hit home runs like it was nothing. But he did what he thought was best for himself and the team. So
I caught about five Ichiro Suzuki home run balls in batting practice. He's that's one of the more impressive batting practices that I can remember for sure. Him and Josh Hamilton when Hamilton was going well with the Rangers.
oh
That
man.
was impressive. Matt Wieters was another one. Matt Wieters was really impressive to watch him hit.
Okay. So Ichiro one, Hamilton two, and Weeders three.
Probably, yeah. It was impressive. Those guys hit some of the most. Side note. I know we got you want to get out of here, but
That's good.
Josh Hamilton hit the 1-2, probably the second farthest home run ball that I've seen at Angel Stadium. I don't know if you remember, but during the All Star Game year, they had a big plaque in center field. Maybe it wasn't the All Star Game year, but they had a big plaque in center field. He one hopped it off the plaque near the walkway out in center field, like that like the actual like almost hitting it over the water, which isn't stupid.
Yeah,
Matt
that's
Wieters
stupid.
Matt Wieters one hopped the second deck near the scoreboard. Matt Wieters hit one off the scoreboard.
Oh man.
That was crazy. I know Shohei Ohtani hit one. I wasn't there for that. I know Ohtani hit one off the scoreboard, but yeah, those are the two farthest balls I've ever seen in batting practice was Matt Wieters and Josh Hamilton. That's crazy.
Definitely. Well, thank you again, Jared, for gracing us with your presence. Um, Probably see you again sometime soon. Um, and I'll drop a link when this comes out. So, see
Absolutely.
baseball all the time, every week, between the lines podcast. Um, just have some fun, everyone. And again, don't forget about the bobblehead.